Okay. Alright. So, hello, everybody. My name is Aweminus. But you can call me Aweminus. I'm going to be breaking down 2 tracks today. I'm going to start with this one. This one's called Vibe, Vibe, Vibe. Simple little tune. As you can see, not much to it. But I'm going to be going through, like, this is the final project. I have, this one has, like, bounced audio and stuff in it. I'll get to this one later. I'm going to start off with the previous version of this project, which has all the synthesis on this bit here. So I can go through that with you. Oh, we gotta turn the mic up? So let's turn this up. Let's see which microphone. Oh, it's all the way up. Okay. Maybe I'll just move it closer to my face. I don't know if that helps. Oh my god, I need too many programs. Here we go. Turn down. Okay. I'll change some properties in here maybe. Why is this not as loud as it was before? Okay. More options, please. Thank you. This is what you get. I'll put the mic right here, my face. Now you can hear me better. Alright. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, this is the final project here. Bounced audio for the synth. I'm going to show you the synthesis. I could show you in this one, but it would take way too long and probably wouldn't work. Oh my god, my dog. Alright, let's open this other project. Dingus, shut up. Come here, Dingus. Oh, is that too loud? Talking too loud now? here. Jesus. Well, come here, Dingus. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Hi, Dingus. Oh my god. He's a little worked up. We got one of our other dogs fixed, and he's worried about him. He's worried about Tater, huh? Yeah. Alright. So, we're gonna start on this OG project here. So this one, you might notice that I think this is pitched down right here. Guess I'll start with this. This is just a massive patch. Well, this whole project is massive actually, so you get a big lesson in massive here. So this is just like a super simple arpeggio thing. It's like hardly... Yeah, that's the only effect I have on here. Square wave, it's pitched up to 42 here. I honestly don't really know why I did that. 41 or 46 would make more sense. Couldn't tell you what my thought process was on that 42 semitone pitch up, but yeah, it's just performer and some rate. It's not synchronized or anything. It's just at a rate that sounds good. And there's just reverb and delay on it. Small reverb. Anyway. And this is just bounced audio. Like, I just recorded this, put some reverb on it, bang, made a riser with it, some little effects. This stuff's not really doing much, so I guess I won't really get into it because I don't really remember what it's doing. Alright. Let me make my... If I can close Discord. You guys don't need to see that anyways. Make my camera a little smaller here. There you go. This did just start like a few minutes ago. Reverse Sabroni. Okay. Yeah, what's this drum? This is a snare that I made, and then just pitch down. Bang. I pitch down my snares normally. I think this is... Yeah, this is from a Big Head sample pack. Let's kick. Smack attack. So make your kicks and snares very smacky and attacky, hence the name. It's just a transient shaper. I like this one though. Works pretty good. Lots of parameters. Different freaking curves. Duration, I don't use this. I don't know. I honestly just use these two knobs. Alright. Which massive synth? They're all massive. For snares, I usually will just freaking, I don't know, I'll go and I'll pick, let's see, this is like a hip-hop drum sample kick. I'll just pick a nice little transient that sounds good. I'll switch through multiple ones to figure out a good one, and then, I don't know, just some clap. This isn't synthesis by any means. I'll just take a clap. Freaking full verb, 100%. Turn the size down. There we go. What is my computer doing? There we go. This plugin does not like to work. So yeah, so you get your clap with the verb. Let's just take some snare out of the same pack. Sure. This is so retro. That's pretty much how I make all my snares. You can get like real tricky with the reverb. Fruity Reverb 2. Not the best reverb plugin, but that's why I like it. Has a very interesting sound. But yeah, that's just the basic process of how I make snares. Simple, straightforward, not too complicated. I mean, I could synthesize a snare, but I just, I don't want to. This sounds good too. And it's like this sort of snare has like a different flavor than synthesized snares. Like you could do something like this, but this just works for me. I don't know. This is just how I'm used to making snares, so it's just how I do it. Generally, I do like to have the clap start like a little bit after the snare. This is like kind of how like you'll hear in like old like G-Funk tracks and stuff like that. They have like the gated clap with like a Lindrum snare or something. Same concept. I like the way it sounds. Yeah, we'll get into Armor on the next track, but for this song, it's massive. So this is, let's see, just turn the effects off here so I can show you what the actual synthesis is on the bass. Start with this. Let's start with this first one here. So this, once again, pitch to 42. I don't know. So you'll notice that I don't have any like sub oscillator here. It's just a high pitched one, but well, I guess technically yes, I do have a sub oscillator, but it's the modulation oscillator set to 0, so it's essentially FM synthesis. It's not really doing much on this one. It's mainly comb filter, to be honest. So that's it with just the oscillator. I got sine shape, I'll turn that off too. It's just a flute, I guess, and then sine wave. Generally, I'll just use sine waves and square waves and massive. Yeah, I mainly use it as like an FM synthesizer. So yeah, little sine shaper. That's like a little more of an FM style kind of sounding thing you put on stuff, or sine wave stuff. Modulation oscillator. That's how you get that gurgly sound. When you modulate a high pitch oscillator with a low pitched one, you get that gurgly sound thing. And then yeah, just comb filter makes it extra annoying. And the second one, same concept. 42. Yeah, actually I think yeah, this is just a copy of, well, that first one was just a copy of this one. So yeah, this is just what the oscillators are doing here. One sub and one high pitch one. Comb filter, sine shaper, tube. Post-processing. We have Vocodex, but it's not turned on. I'll delete that so you guys don't get confused. Not using that on this one. It's just effector here. This is our first plugin in the chain. This is like a really simple, straightforward effects plugin from ImageLine. You can see it's got freaking 12 different effects here. They all do different things, but I generally use this for the delay. If you set it to 8 and then turn the tempo up, you'll start getting some tonal delay. Vocal doubler, this is just a stereo effect. Let's turn all these others off. Simple way to get some stereo field in your sounds. Obviously it's for vocals, but you know, you can use effects however you want. It's your life. Do what you want. Just rolling off the sub frequencies here in the CQ. Ozone 8 elements. I literally just opened the plugin on here, I think. Actually, no. I think this was free? Or I don't know. Or maybe I didn't pay much for it. I don't remember. Portable plugin because I have it. Yeah, it's just Imager, Maximizer. It's pretty simple plugin to use. It's got an EQ. One thing to know, at least in FL Studio, when you load this onto a mixer track, you'll get a delay. Like the actual audio will start like, I think 30 milliseconds later than it would without the plugin on it. It could be a hardware issue. Or just the way the plugin works. I think this convolver was on. Yeah. Convolution reverb. What's my impulse on here? So yeah, this is just, it like makes the reverb out of, this is your impulse here. So you just load your impulse sound in here, and it like melds the two sounds together and makes it into reverb. I don't really know the technical explanation for how it works, but yeah, I guess this is your room? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, same. This is just another copy of that other synth. I know this is probably getting boring. Just with the sub oscillator turned off. Pretty simple stuff. Kind of just like those like really like minuscule changes in the synth kind of helps the track blend together better. This is also at 42, and yeah, performer. Arpeggiating like that intro synth. Same sort of thing. It's just an arpeggio, as you could probably tell. And then we have our sub here. So the way that I make subs in Massive is, so once again, I guess I got two oscillators here. They're both sub on this one. Sometimes I'll have one that's pitched up to like 19 or maybe 31. Those are two good harmonics to add on top of your sub. This one's at 0. Sine wave, a little bit of square, I guess. And then a square wave. And then noise. So what I'm doing here is I have my sine wave and my square wave. Excuse me. Noise. Ran through a tube that blends all the sound together. I will distort it together, but and then more distortion here. Nope, not distortion. That's just clipping it. That's a mixing technique. Bass boosted for extra swag, and then I have another EQ open after the wave shaper. Pro Strat, so I can boost the post cut mid and high, or high mid and high frequencies to get some extra fizz on there. I do this a lot. This is like a really good way to just add more like girth to your song, because like with just a sub, it'll sound empty. But with that extra fizz and the square, gives you that fizz, fills out the space. And that's how you can get 16 tracks to sound like a whole tune. And I could condense this down into less. But yeah, here's a part of the tune that actually didn't even make it into the final version. Like I said before, this is the unfinished version, so I don't know what's going on with this. This is like very unprocessed. But yeah, this is like the freaking same. I don't even explain this. It's the same thing. And then just for effects, these are just some like pre-made effects, or like effects that I've made. These are all going into a new sample pack that I'm working on, by the way. This is just stretched effects, stretch effects. That's from something else. That's a different one, different sample pack, not mine. I don't know. There's not much to say about that. Any questions? Who got the questions? How do I make my effects? That's a good question. I like that question. Here, I'll fully synthesize one here for you guys. Using Massive, of course, because this is the Massive lesson. Breakdown. So you just get. Let's do it with a saw wave. And let's put this LFO on it. Just drag it up, whatever. Put another LFO on this rate. Sure. And then, oh, what is happening? Okay. We will load this into a mixer track. There we go. This is how I do most of my stuff. Or how, just like a quick little fun way I like to make effects. Let's see. The Melda Productions frequency shifter. So this is obviously a frequency shifter, but this has this if you turn the feedback up really high on this and make the delay a bit long, you start getting some really freaking funky sounds with it. And then with the width, super easy. And then this is Edison, but I'm just gonna use it to record the live audio. But obviously, I mean, you can bounce this and whatever DAW you're doing, however method you want to use. Just reverse it, normalize it. Now you got a riser. Easy peasy. Drag it in your DAW.
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
Yeah. Super insanely easy way to make effects. If you're just feeling stumped on a project, don't feel like looking for effects, just literally spend 5 seconds making one. There you go. Yeah, I don't know, you can get super tricky with it. Resample it. Do the same thing again. So yeah, I know you can like render that altar trick in FL Studio, but I just like to use Edison because what? Okay, come here. When you render or when you record in Edison, it has like all this other stuff you can do, like fade in. You can add convolution reverb. You can blur it. This is like specific to Edison. So you can make some really cool sounds with that. You can stretch it as many times as you'd like, which you can't do in the sampler in FL Studio. So that's why I like to use Edison, just because you get like a lot more freedom with resampling your audio. Yeah, that's why I do it that way. Resampling in Ableton is fire. I like Ableton resampling. What do I do to fill in the background? That little sub trick I showed you, that's a really good way to make a track sound more full. And then just making sure you got an atmosphere in the background. There's stuff going on in the background. Add space. What do you have to say, Dingus? You want to answer questions? Oh, he's mad. Are you mad at... Don't get mad at Sprungus. I used to write music in Reason like a lot, like a few years ago, but I don't know, I just don't really bother anymore. Edison plus Fruity Granulizer, yes. Very true. Yeah, you can actually, I mean, you can resample your dog too. That's that's another good thing. How do I gain stage at -3 LUFS? Just, what is this? I'm just compressing the last half a dB at almost 10:1 compression here. No input or output gain, straight through a soft clipper. It's all just mixing techniques like soft clipping tracks like your synths and your sub and effects, and then not soft clipping or not clipping your drums, especially your kick and your snare. If you're not clipping the kick and the snare will always poke through your synths and your subs and all that because they're just louder. They're going past 0 dB, you know? So, especially once that goes through a compressor, like the transients from your kicks and your snares, they'll compress down the rest of the audio. So it's kind of almost like a sidechain if you have most of your other tracks clipped and at 0 dB and not your kick and your snare. In this track, am I even sidechaining? I think I am. So yes, I have a kick snare group. So I've grouped my kick and my snare into one track here. and then just sidechained it to the bass bus, which is the synth and the sub. For delimiter, what are my settings here? Very short, 0 release, 0 attack, just threshold and knee. I never use ratio, I just use knee, because knee is softer. Especially with sidechaining with Fruity Limiter, because Fruity Limiter is like, it like doesn't smooth out anything. So that's why I use knee. So it kind of smooths it out. You can use release too to smooth it out, especially if you don't have like a kick that's nice and smooth like this. Like if you have a kick that has like another sub that comes after it and you're sidechaining with Fruity Limiter, it just sounds like poo-poo. So I guess picking a kick, that's why I use hip-hop kicks a lot, because hip-hop kicks are just like simple 808 drums that there's nothing like crazy going on with them, and they freaking slap. So smooth waveform equals smooth sidechain. Oh, I guess there is release now. I didn't see release before. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, the bass bus, just the synth and the sub. That's it. I'll just put all the synths and the subs. I usually name it bass bus. That's just what I call it. I'm sure somebody has a better technical name for it, but that's what I call it. Yeah, I'll do that so I can easily sidechain. Whether I'm doing a sidechain with a compressor or just volume automation sidechaining. Oh, inside of yeah, just a little bit. There you go, sorry. What's up, Ivory? No, I keep the drums louder than everything else. Like everything that gets to or surpasses 0 dB, I'll clip besides the drums. So everything else is clipping at 0 dB, but I'll leave the drums so they can go past 0 dB. Like +6 or plus however many thousand dB I have it going past. So you'll get sort of a sidechaining effect. It'll sidechain. You get like the effect of sidechaining, but without actually doing anything. The kick, let's see what the kick's hitting at. What's my kick and my snare hitting? So we're hitting past 3. Does not. Over 3 dB, probably more than that. So I'm gonna say like 6 or 7, plus 6 or 7. So like that will always, like, I don't know. I'll cut at 100 hertz if something has sub-frequencies that I don't like. But sometimes there's sounds that have sub-frequencies that like add extra dimension or character to the sound. And when you cut them out, it just doesn't sound right. So I guess it's just like, it's not always a for sure thing, I guess, is what I'm getting at. EQ on the kick. Mega boost at 100 hertz. I guess 101 in this case. Sometimes I'll boost at 64 hertz or 60, around there. It really depends on the sample. Sometimes it sounds better if you boost around 134 or like up here in this range. But I guess generally I'll boost at 100. Really depends on sample and what the vibe of the tune is, really. This snare, I have like a little boost on the fundamental frequency of the snare, which I guess is, that's not even the fundamental frequency. I'm just gonna not try to explain that. Boost the highs though. I did cut 100 hertz on the snare though, because this probably had some annoying sub frequency that I didn't like. And this has reverb 2 on it, like I was talking about before. It's not the most practical reverb, that's why I like to use it. I mean, you can like make it sound good, but I don't know how to make it sound like other reverbs. When it comes to hi-hats and perks, is it better to fill out the space or stay minimal? Depends on the track, really. Generally, I'll just have, right here you'll just see quarter notes the whole way. Quarter notes and half notes on the cymbals here. Mainly just quarter notes. And then just some rolls. Generally, like, it just makes it like it's more drivey, I guess. I can't really think of the word. Quarter note hi-hats, things like that. But like you can get some like real technical. You can get real technical with the hats and the perks. But it really changes the dynamic and almost the genre of the tune when you start doing that. So kick and the snare at the same time, yes. Christian, you're correct. Cut the low end, but not always. Sometimes it sounds good if you just leave the low end on the snare. Like, yeah, it just really all depends on what your group of samples are. Like, sometimes, I don't know, I usually just pick my stuff almost at random, just make it work. So I mix my drums relatively differently every time. Am I tuning the kicks and the snares? Usually I'll just tune the kick, I normally try not to tune the kick, mostly because I'm not synthesizing the kick. When you're synthesizing a kick, you can just turn the pitch up in your synthesizer to get it tuned right. But since I work with samples on my drums, I'll just pick a kick drum that fits nicely with my sounds. Like sometimes I'll build a drum kit and then start putting synths on top of it, and then I'll just start picking out drum samples, like replacing them, figuring out which one works right. I feel like I had something else to say on that. Creating flows, I mean, that's just the idea in your head. This is just like a tune that just popped up in my head. And I just sat down and wrote it. But sometimes you just sit down and you just work it out. I don't know. I don't really have like a tried or true method of making good flows. Just something that like comes out of my brain, I guess. I don't know. Specific plugins for intro melodies. Harmor is a very good one. I'll get into that on the next one. You know what? I've been answering questions for a long time. Let me just open the final version of this project and show you what I did in that one. I believe there are less 42s in this one. I believe. I believe Pinky was massive. Yeah. Yeah. I believe that was the only synth, I guess aside from Harmor, that I had installed on my computer at the time when I wrote that. I have made screechy sounds in DX10. I have. I think I've done something like that on a live stream before, but I think I've maybe only done one track with a DX10 synth. 43. There we go. 43. You know, Ken Block, Jim Connor, 43. So this one, this is the final project here. This one has a synth bounced. I honestly don't really remember why I did that, but that's why I showed you the first one. Honestly, this one just has like, I just changed a couple things about the mix. Master's the same, just a little fine tuning in this one. Pitch this up, so it was actually a key with the rest of the song. Yeah, and I changed that second half of the drop. This right here, it's just resampled from that. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, it's in here. It was like, there we go, this sound. Yeah, I just resampled it, a little bit of pogo. This is a cool effect that you get in the FL Studio sampler. So you got a little pitch sound, pitch down effect from that, and then not much else to say about that. I forgot about this part. So this one, once again, massive. Just keeping things as lazy as you can get, I guess. So yeah, this is just like a simple little... More 42s and 43s. Just unicizing away. And that's it, reverb. I'm automating this reverb here. The dry wet here. Some low pass filter. Don't remember what that's doing. What is this doing? Yeah. Another low pass. Oh, this cut. This one is on the little Reese that's going on down here. So yeah, this is a saw wave and a square wave. A little bit of detuning. That's it. Chorus, reverb, nothing special. OTT, like a freaking person. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but this synth actually does have sub in it. So I'll leave stuff like that in, because the sub on this is stereo. So it like adds even more depth to your sub by having that like stereo low frequency stuff going on your synth. It adds extra, just more dimension to your synth and sub combo. How do I write my ARPs? So my arpeggio is just based on this. Honestly, I was never really that well versed in music theory in the first place, and since being in band class in middle school, music theory has kind of, like actual real practice music theory is just not a concept in my head anymore, I guess. It's just kind of like my own, I guess. I don't know. Just kind of figure it out. Like I said, I'm not very well educated on it, so I'm not really good at explaining it, but yeah, the ARP is just based, I just took these notes, copied it, checked it into my piano roll for my synth that I wanted to make ARPs with. Or are you talking about like the arpeggiating doohickey synth thing? I don't know. Do I think learning music theory is essential? No, but I do think it is good to learn anything about music at all, because it's always good to expand your knowledge on something that you do. Getting smarter makes you better. My subs aren't always mono, by the way. Alright, let's close this down. We're gonna get into the Frozen remix. Let's go. I'll play the whole thing, but just don't record it and leak it on VK, please. Oh, FL Studio Co. Oh, I don't know Gross Beat anymore. This is what happens when you switch machines like 3 times. So we're gonna get into harmless synthesis on this one. Just a little bit. Obviously more massive.
Frozen.
I'm so glad this project loaded right. I really like this part here. Next part.
Frozen.
All right. So, I'll just mute these effects. I don't really think I did much on these. I did absolutely nothing besides pan them to the right a little bit for some reason. Don't ask me why. All right, so this, the melody here, this is the stem. Let's turn the effects on. So there's actually a lot of stuff going on here. First and foremost, the Mad Shifter. This is an ancient frequency shifter plugin from the early 2000s, I think. It's free. You can find it. Just look it up. It's there. Just download it for free. Let's turn everything off. I'll show you what it does. super weird sounding. But yeah, it's a really funky, like, archaic frequency shifter. I really like using that one. We got Love Filter doing some blind LFO stuff. Reverb, of course. OTT. You know, you gotta just put it on there for the culture. This, I turned it into a shoe. The shoe EQ. This is classic Aweminus technique right here. You just make a shoe, and now it sounds good. It's just boosting the bass a little bit, but cutting at, what is it, 60 some hertz. Get rid of all the sub. Nothing in the center, and then high cut. This is just to create more room in the mix because the sound is already loud. And just having a ton of highs going on in your mix will just start making your mix sound very bad when it's loud. So cutting highs is definitely a good technique when you're trying to push your mix down up to that -3 LUFS mark. Cutting highs on things that don't necessarily need that many highs. Like this. Like, most of the sound is in, like, let's look at what frequencies are going on in here. Like, it's already kind of rolling off here. You don't need all that. You know? You still get the point without it. And it's easier on the ears. And you can turn your mix down up higher. Plus there's this, like, there's like a ring right here. You don't need that. Just turn it down. Obviously you don't need the sub. On something like this, since most of the sound is up high, any sub that's derived from this sound is just gonna be poo-poo. Normally, it does not sound good. Get rid of it. And a little bit of bass. Especially since this is like a kind of a stereo sound. When you boost the bass on a stereo sound, it like gives it more like not like the sub. I'm talking about the bass, like 134 to like 200 hertz. Gives it more of like a, sounds a little less wimpy that way. Enough about that though. Kick, let's see. Right here, this is actually a kick that I synthesized and then resampled. This is made with Kick 2. I don't think I have this on this computer. I made this on a different machine. But this was Kick 2. You could make snares with that as well. Kick 2. I'd get into it, but like I said, don't have it. Yeah, once again, Smack Attack at Subject 31. You know, honestly, kind of a little secret. Why is it not showing the DAW? Why the fuck is it showing Facebook? Oh, there's my stream key. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's just frozen. What's going on here? Frozen. Alright, let's open this back up. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, it's not on Facebook anymore on my phone. Cool. Alright. Alright, dope. So it was just me, sorry. I looked at my phone and it was just showing my face with Facebook behind it. Anyways, yeah, like I said, 31. I just set things at 31, and it honestly generally sounds good. Another good value to set your parameters at is 69. That one will sound good too. Promise. So, this is just the kick that I use in the rest of the tune. But I'm using this declicking mode on here, smooth, with bleeding. I'll show you what that does. So, when you shorten a sample with this smooth setting on, you can like essentially, I mean, it just shortens the sample. So I have it brought all the way back because I don't want the whole kick here. That's like too much kick for this section. So it just fits in better. And then, what's this? Yeah. This was just an 808 that I think I was just too lazy to put all the different kicks into the same mixer track. So I just bounced it all together. I honestly don't remember why I bounced this, but it's bounced. It's just a big head 808, I think. Freaking splice type beat. Alright, enough about the intro. You guys want to look at Harmless, right? Alright, synth number 1. This is Harmless. Not Harmless, sorry, Harmer. Harmless is the...
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
The older and less smart synthesizer that I also like. So, the synth, just by itself, it's just this. This is not generally how I use Harmless. I'll show you some other techniques, but on this particular synth, it's just this little sound with 8 effect slots on it. So I'll go over what all those are here right now. So this is the flanger effector again. Flanger, I don't know how you pronounce it. So with the phalange on it, it's just modulating at 1/4. It's not a quarter note, it's more like a 16th note at 1/4. And then this bouncing ball delay, this is another free plugin. This is literally from 2003. Free plugin here. Let me just show you what kind of plugin this is. So, it's like, I mean, just think of it as you drop a ball on the ground and the ball bounces faster and like it begins to bounce faster. But yeah, so that's bouncing ball delay with some very clever settings. Melta Productions comb. I think that's set to 82 Hertz. Minimum frequency brought up a little bit, so you don't get that low end. A little bit of highs taken out. Mad Shifto once again. That's where that main sound comes from, is this mad shifter. Phaser. Modulating once again. Effector. Very versatile plugin. I have already 2 instances on this one. Bit of compression. Reverb. And then you already know what it is. OTT. Alright, let's get into the sub. Same kind of deal as the last tune. Except instead of square for my second oscillator, I'm using carbon. Another good little fizz adder. This sub once again is mono. Bass boost, OTT, and why is that there? I don't know. Why am I boosting 112 hertz? Or 100, yeah, for 1.8 dB in this. Maybe fun to, oh yeah. Little extra harmonics in there. Just a little bit. So, yeah, you got this like weird, super high pitched sound. Doesn't have any lows in it, or mid bass or anything. And then you get all your mid bass and your sub from the sub itself. And your bass. So the sub is doing half the synth work in this sound here, if you think about it. And alright, come on, play the sound. Oh, you're being terrible. Come on. Oh my god. I can't. Oh, I forgot how to undo this. Okay, I'm just gonna turn everything back on manually. Alright. 52 pitch. That's another one of my secret pitches. 52. This one has ugly sub bass in it. Honestly, don't know why I didn't cut it out. Sounds bad. Or maybe it sounds good. I don't know. It's up to you. But this is literally sine wave, band plus, and white noise. That's the main bit. And then I have this step sequencer thing, just automating the pitch here. Then I fiddled around with it for a while. Got it to sound like this. Did this little thing. Don't know what notes it's hitting. Don't care. Sounds good. And when you put the sub on it, it's, I don't know. Honestly, I thought it was hilarious. And the sound here, once again, massive. I know, I'm not showing you enough hardware. You know what? Let's do a little side chorus on here. Let's step away from this breakdown for a second. Let me show you some hardware. So what you want to do, get yourself a square wave. turn it to 4. A little bit of square 4 going on. And here's the coolest thing about Harmor here is this. So, just like how you like, how do I say this? Image line synthesizers, most of them have this cool, like really versatile automation on parameters like local modulation. How do I even say that? I don't know. I'm gonna stop trying to explain it. I'm just gonna sound dumb. But the envelopes, super fire. So let's see. So you can drag around your lines like this, and you have how many freaking different lines is this? So many different kinds of lines you can draw. Single curve 2, 3, double curve, my favorite is pulse for volume. No, sorry, wave. So it's like, it's a little wave. And you can get triangle waves, or if you drag it all the way up, you'll get sine waves. And then the phaser on here is really good. And here's where it gets real nice. So you can modulate the width on here. My favorite on the phaser parameters is stairs. Oh, I don't want LFOs. Phaser offset envelope. So I'll just make this a quarter note again. Prism's really good. You can detune it. I guess this is pitch. Detune's really nice. And you can load images in here. Let's put what are we gonna put in here? We'll put a snare in here. Effects, chorus. You have another phaser, the filters too. Alright, let's load this up in a mixer track. And here's where the sauce happens. You just open Vocodecks. Right, and then effector. Bang. I forget how you turn the image off. Anyways, yeah. That's I'm gonna reset this. Whatever. That's your lesson in Harmor. It's a good synth. It's really easy to make it sound bad. It's really easy to make it sound good. And this, just like the previous track, freaking, well, this is Melomantic. I'm using it like, I'm using the synth basically the same way that I used it in the last project. So, step sequencer is changing the pitch of this high oscillator a little bit. Modulation oscillator, that's how it's getting that like wobbly thing. It's because it's detuning with this high pitched one. These are both high pitched actually. And the step sequencer is pitching this down, so you're getting all kinds of weird stuff. When you mix it with a comb filter, you just get all kinds of weird stuff. Sine shaper also helps. This is another, just another iteration of the FM style massive synthesis. Modulation oscillator is my sub here. So when you set the phase up on oscillator 1, now you're essentially FMing this oscillator. Then when you mix sine shaper with it, you get extra FM sounds. Mad Shifta. Here, I'll put it in the chat. Mad Shifta. Just look it up. Look up Mad Shifta. VST. And it should pop up on a really sus looking website. And you download it from there. And let's get into the kick and the clap combination here. We'll put the hi-hat in there too. Is everything soloed again? Hi, Dingus. Alright, audio please. Oh, I have to turn everything else back on manually too. Nice. This is one thing I haven't figured out about FL Studio, is like, how come when I solo this and then unsolo it, it's like not unmuting all these things. I've been producing with FL Studio. I've been using this program for literally 10 years too, so always learning new stuff on this thing. Alright. So, right off the bat, you'll notice my hi-hat here
is being drowned out by Dingus.
It's just huffing and puffing down there. So I got my drum bus here. It's all going through a compressor. So it just kind of like squeezes all the drums together. But you'll notice still well over 0 dB here. I think honestly I hadn't really learned that or started using that clipping technique in this track, where I clip everything else. Everything's just blasting past 0 dB. Even the subs like squeezing past 0 on here. If you want to be annoyed all day, get yourself a pug. Alright. Clap. Let's see. This is just a clap that I made out of some other clap. I think out of a Thomas Penn pack or something. Literally just reverb 2 on it. Volume turned up a bit on it. So I guess this is just a case of sample selection here. Well, I'm glad I'm not alone on that solo and unsolo thing. I've noticed, like, in the mixer, if you solo something and then solo other things, and then this will start happening, and then I think if you hold shift and right click, so control, right click twice, and then you'll get all of your mixer tracks back, but that does not work in the sequencer. Why? Or channel rack, I guess it's called now. Why? It's one thing I'll never understand about FL Studio. That's one of the reasons why I'll just close projects. Because stuff like that happens. You know, I don't really know let's get some questions going. Let's look at the. Do I produce on headphones? I would say about 30% of the time. What do I do when I'm not feeling inspired or creatively blocked? Find more hobbies. Do something else that you like doing. Go outside, ride your bike, play some video games. If you got a job, focus on that for a little bit, and then you'll just, all of a sudden, creativity will just start building up inside of you. I'll just be watching TV sometimes, and an idea will pop in my head. Hobbies, focus on other things, and it'll just come to you. That's really all I have to say about that. Just let life inspire you, I guess. Nostalgic things. Play an old video game you haven't played in a while. Play a new video game that you play all the time. How did I come up with my name, Aweminus? It's just the word ominous, and I just changed some letters. That was the best I could come up with at the tender age of 15. Tips for producing on headphones: switch back and forth between, if you don't have monitors, plug in your earpods, AirPods, other headphones, listen to it in your car. You gotta get a reference from two different things, I feel like, to actually make an accurate mix down. And also listen to other music, compare it, A and B mixes, tried and true method. Switching your speakers or headphones to something else. Listen to your music on something else. Compare it to other things. That's a good way to produce on headphones, I guess. Try to figure out ways to listen to it on other stuff. Laptop speakers, whatever. Because if you just stay on one speaker, no matter what it is, studio monitors, headphones, earbuds, whatever it is, you're gonna start making a mix down that just sounds good on whatever thing you're listening to your music on. And it will never translate well, in my opinion. Some people just produce on the same pair of headphones. They write all their tracks like that. I can't do that. Is my room treated? Yeah, that's all I got. Just this. Some foam that I spray adhesive to some cardboard. That's my room treatment. And that's it. And then just having hella shit in my room. Just hanging stuff on the wall. Doesn't have to be sound treatment. It just has to be stuff. Putting stuff in your room. Neonix, he put a mattress in his doorway to like get some good acoustics. Whatever works, really. Just filling the space on your walls. If you can, put shit on the ceiling. Doesn't have to be foam, but foam works the best. One production piece of knowledge I wish I knew way earlier. Not putting limiters on the master. FL Studio, out of the box, when you start a new project, it'll put a limiter on your master. And I was writing music with that limiter on the master for like 3 years. And then I took it off and put something else, I think the soft clipper or something. And that was when I finally started to write music I was happy with. Simply by just getting rid of that limiter. I personally hate limiters on masters. Some people are really good at doing it. Like, Simula used to put a limiter on his master. And I'm like, I don't know, I just didn't understand how he made his mix down so good like that. My dog is not snoring, he's just breathing. Believe it or not, he's awake. I showed earlier in the tutorial how I layer snares. Just a regular hip-hop snare kind of thing, or like the drum machine snare. You could synthesize a snare. And then a clap. Same thing, pick it out of a sample pack, synthesize it, snare and the clap together. Bang. Make sure that clap is like blown out with like reverb and stuff. So, like gated reverb or something. What would I say to a producer struggling to sound unique or find their sound? Just start like doing stupid stuff that you would never think about doing. Downloading free plugins and then just turning the parameters all the way up and then fine-tuning it. Stop watching tutorials, get your basic knowledge, and then like I'm sure like you're just really itching to know how your favorite producer makes their own sound, but I mean, yeah, like look at that, but you know, learn how to do that. It's always good to learn new stuff, but don't always just do something really dumb. Like basically, yeah, just be stupid. Open your DAW and smooth brain. Jack Human, essentially, yeah. Red hot into the mixer, but with a compressor before the soft clipper. So on this one, I have threshold set to 1 dB, and the ratio to 11.1 to 1. And a soft knee. Attack and release are relatively short. I'm only going to be going through these 2 projects. And this here breakdown. I'll show you some. I synthesized some effects in here. I'll show you these. This is 3x os. That's just a sub thingy. I mean, I really don't need to explain that. What else do I have in here? Is this another one? Yes, it is. You know what? I really didn't synthesize anything in here. Shame on me. This is an effect I made previously, if that counts. I don't know, is there anything about this track that you guys want to see? I personally, like, what do you mean by, other than Serum, what other presets do you recommend for sound design? Alright, do you mean, like, what, synthesizer? Or, like, cause...
Make your music stand out, get more views, and way more engagement. Bring your music to life. Get Music Visualizer. In every format, even for social media. Get started today. The link is in the description.
How long does it take me to finish a track typically? Anywhere from a day to a year. Maybe 2 years. Yeah. It has taken me legitimately 2 years. It took me 3 years to finally finish Aweminus. 3 years. And it's like, it was just stuff that just never came to mind, and then I just forgot about it. You know, you just want something to be perfect, and it's just, you get frustrated trying to think about what you want to put in there, or you're just too lazy, and then it just sits collecting dust. But you still play that old version. But yeah, generally a deadline will make me finish a track real fast. I generally don't saturate the master, but I've done that before. Like, I'll only ever do that on a track where I've only ever done that on one track actually, and the whole tune was just distorted. It was just like everything was distorted. Generally, no. Do not saturate the master. It's not a thing I do. Well, let's see how many hours I've spent on this. I spent 7 hours and 46 minutes in total on this. This track, though, I probably wrote this in like a day, so it's just 8 hours of work. I mean, it's spread over the course of 3 days. I wrote most of the tune in a day, and then opened it across the next couple days, just adding little things. But yeah, 7 hours and 46 minutes on this one. And that's generally, like, I don't think I've ever spent more than 20 hours on a song. Like, actual in the DAW. Doing work on it. No. Favorite genre to produce outside of dubstep and drum and bass? It ranges from, like, sometimes I'll just be really into writing like house music or like bass line, or like hip hop beats. Sometimes I want to write grime. It just depends how I'm feeling, I guess. I've been really wanting to try and write more hard house. Hard house. Alex with the questions. Frosty Witch Snips is definitely not a drum and bass tune, but yes. Any tips on getting your music out to artists to play it out? Write a good track, and then I don't know. Start making friends. Like, you don't have to, like, you're never, like, unless you're just randomly homies with a producer and you send them, like, a producer that you look up to, and you send them tracks all the time. Just start trying to create a network. Like, find people who are sort of in the same boat as you, like, looking to find people to listen to their music, and you're writing the same kind of genre. Just start sending music back and forth to each other. You know, collab with those people, extend your network. It doesn't have to be with big producers. Local people in your area, like if you know somebody who produces music, like do things with more people. It doesn't have to be the, you know, like popular producers. You just add people together, things will start happening. But generally, I think you can submit things to Spotify playlists nowadays. I'm really not, like, well versed on Spotify. That's just kind of the way that I learned to do. That's how I did it. Was just making a network with producers and making friends. I will clip the basses and sub using the Fruity limiter, but I'll raise the ceiling all the way. Or how do I do it? I don't even know if you can really clip with limiter. I haven't done that in a while. A breakdown of Zoo Electric. I mean, yeah, it'll take me 5 minutes, I guess. Subfocus flip, that's a good idea. Good mixing tips besides drum side chain. Don't overdo the highs. If a sound's frequency range is generally in the, like, mids or something like that, like it doesn't need to have that sizzle on it, just cut the highs. Yeah, and sounds that don't need sub, take the sub out. Boost fundamental frequencies of things. There's this cool plugin actually called Wider. This will make your sound louder perceptively. It's a stereo thingamabobber. And the cool thing about Wider is that you don't have phase issues. Like, let's say this. I'll put this. Let's put a frequency shifter on here. This is a good one. I'll set the width up a little bit. Sure, it sounds good in stereo, but once you put it to mono, it's like phasing itself out, because this frequency shifter, I mean, that's just, when you set the width, it starts, I guess another good thing to do is check your mono, because a lot of sound systems are mono, or live streams can be mono. And say with this Wider plugin, like, there's no frequency shifter, right? But then when you put Wider on, yeah, we can compare the two next to each other. So frequency shifter, Wider, doesn't sound that much different than in mono. No discrepancies in volume with Wider, but frequency shifter, it's all over the place. So check your mono. and yeah, work on your stereo field. Good mixing techniques. Do I still have the Viper project? Dang. No, definitely not. What are the benefits of using Massive over Serum? I like Massive more. I dislike Serum. It's preference, really. Sounding different, I guess. Because in the, like, generally somebody producing dubstep will be using Serum like 10 times over Massive, you know? So it's a good way to make different sounds. And plus Serum, anytime I write a synth that I like, it always sounds tinny, and the high end is just a mess, and I'm never that happy with it. Sending music over a promo email, hit or miss. Some people check their promos, some people don't. I generally don't check promos from artists that I'm unfamiliar with. I have made a couple tracks in Ableton. My collab with Chibs was in Ableton. I have like one unreleased track with Ableton. It's okay. Don't remember like that tune or doubling a tune in reverse, but I've definitely done that a few times. It's fun. I don't remember what tune it was. That was definitely one of those on the fly things. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch you on the flip side.